Hey guys, let's talk about the new patch meta. So, firstly we have Ari Scholar Bastions. So, let's remove these. This is your level 5 board. You give Ari one of the mono items, it doesn't matter which one. She prefers Adaptive, then Blue Buff, and then Shojin in this order. Death Cap is her best damage item, but just give her whatever you can find, and then give her like any AP item that makes sense. Just get items on Ari, and then you will give Zoe your Rise items like Shojin, Red Buff, Rage Blade, something like that. You'll give Poppy stuff like Spark, your tank items pretty much. Let's say Warmog, Gargoyle, and those are some, yeah, just some tank items. These are some augments. Spellblade is the best augment for this comp. Some prismatics and upgraded adventures good. Prismatic tickets good. Yeah, this comp is really solid. You want to make sure that your Ari is positioned in a way where she's hitting multiple units. An easy way to do this is, let's get rid of these Aries real quick. You middle the Poppy, and then you solo frontline her, and then they'll walk up. Yeah. Make sure your Poppy won't insta-die when you do this. It's usually best with a Gargoyle. If you don't have Gargoyle, you can position something like this, and then later on, you add Taric and Rise. Taric, you add Rise. You transfer the Zoe items to Rise with Remover or Salvager. Yeah, they're really accessible now with charms, so save a remover for that if you can. And then you add Milio or Bard. Usually it's Milio, but you know, you're level 8, you can't always find them. So one of these. And then at level 9, you add Xerath. It is possible to run Xerath Kench instead of Rise and a Scholar. This is the 4 Arcana variant. Also really strong if you have Arcana Emblem. Not Spat, because you can't craft it. But Arcana Emblem. Unlike Lilia, probably, actually. But you can just have Lilia hold a Thief's Gloves. It's usually the best item just to kill Glove. And yeah, the comp looks something like this. Really solid to top 4. We're just going to breeze through these. Hopefully I can get an in-depth guide later. But basically, you slow roll at 5 to play this. I should have explained this earlier. You slow roll at 5. And then once you reach 2 out of 3 of the 1 cost, then you level to 6. You roll for the last 1 cost and you roll for the RA3. And then you level up and you add, you know, the Rise and stuff. Hecarim is your level 5 because he gives Arcana. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Anyways, I should explain. We're going to breeze through these because there's a lot. And hopefully I can make in-depth guides for each of these comps later down the road. Alright, next up we have probably the best comp to learn the game. This is like the fundamentals comp. If you want to get really good at TFT, just play Preservers every game. You're going to get really, really good. So basically, these are your core units. You don't really need Bard in the core. It's mainly Morgana or Conzilian, and then you add Bard sometimes. You should play really flexibly here. Like people oftentimes just force the Fiora Callista board, but you can play Fiora Gwen. Fiora Gwen's really good. You can play Karma if you have AP items. I've seen Rise, and you just play like Rise Milio, right? Because you get Scholar. And then front lines, people oftentimes just tunnel vision on the Nasus. If you can't get the 2-star Nasus, like 2-star Taric plus Diana's pretty fine. You could also do like Kench. Like you could throw your tech items over Comber, cause not that good of a tank right now. But yeah, you could do like Kench Mord, Xerath, I'm sure. So you get Mord, and you get Xerath. And this is a pretty high cap version. You obviously can't run bar with this. Also, if you run the Karma version, you get Chrono for free because of Cillian, and you don't really need the cast. It's like optional for Incancer. You can like add cast or Syndra, but you don't need Incancer if you play Karma, right? So keep that in mind. Callista, you just activate multi-checker somehow. It doesn't need to be a Kali, doesn't need to be Camille necessarily. These are just usually the two that are used because you get free Pyro if you use Anasis, and you get free Chrono with the Zillion, right? But the core of this is just these three. It's just the Preservers. And then you play around whatever you hit. You hit a 2-star Gwen and 1-star Fiora. You can stack the Gwen, it's fine. Like, Gwen's not as good as Fiora right now, but like, you can top 4 with this, you know? Like, if you hit 2-star Taric and you don't have any Nasus, just play the Taric. Play Taric Diana, Taric Shen. Like, it's fine, you know? So, basically, just play really, really flexible with this comp. Try go 9, play around the 5 cost, and cap your board out. Because this comp's, like, insanely strong. Itemization wise, like, give your stuff like this. Tank items on Nasus, Taric, BT, Sterix, stuff like that on Fiora. And yeah. Oh, I have Deco here because you can play her with Fiora if you don't have the Morgana yet instead of the Briar. You don't have Morgana, you don't have Briar. She gives like a free witchcraft. It's pretty nice. And yeah, my point is when you play this Preserver line, don't just hard force the Callisto variants. Because like yeah, there is a lot of flexibility to this line. So keep that in mind. And if you want to get really good, not only in this set, but in general, I'm pretty sure this will just help your fundamentals of TFT. So it'll help you every patch, every set. Just play this line like a lot, as often as possible. You'll get really good. Trust. All right, on to the next comp, Kog'Maw. Diana shouldn't be here. This is like the comp from last patch that's been untouched, or it's been touched, but it's probably the best comp from last patch. You can also play this with Zap Attack and Sweet Tooth. These are some Zap Attack items on the Blitzcrank right now. You usually put your tank items on Nunu. With Sweet Tooth, you can add AP items like Archangel, but I kind of like Crown Guard a lot. It's really, really good in the stats. Not sure how it's doing right now. You can put BT on him. Something like this, you know. Or you can just go full tank, like Declaw is good if you have Sweet Tooth. But the main variant is this. You drop the Jinx for level 6. This is your level 6. You 3-star as much as you can. Usually all the 2 cost. You put 80 items on Kog'Maw and Trist. Gunblade, Rageblade's actually really good on Trist. Rageblade is really good because you proc the crown really, really fast. And then you add Jinx at 7. And then that's where this comp caps. Now, this comp does cap higher at 9. But if you want to, like, level 8 is kind of useless, right? Look, you can't add anything. But if you get an emblem, like Bastion emblem, you get 4 Bastion, Honeymancy, you get 5 Honeymancy. So this comp actually caps higher with emblems. The best ones, I think, are Bastion, 5 Honeymancy, and I don't think 4 Fairy is that good. 4 Hunter. 4 Hunter is pretty good. 4 Vanguard's also pretty good. You just add Kench. And then at 9, you can add Zerath. So you could add like, let's say you do get to 9, you add like Diana Taric, or you add like Zerath Tom, or you add Tom Mord, stuff like that. So yeah, just really solid comp to top 4. Usually you cap at 7, so you're not gonna super win out the lobby. Sometimes you do. Also, this is really solid 2 healthy board because you run 4-2 costs with the Rumble, Cog, Trist, and Nunu. So yeah, also make sure your Cog is right next to your Trist. Forgot to mention that because he buffs your Trist. All right, we're getting into some spat comps now. So here you have Rise. You usually play this with Portal +1. You don't have to. I've also pivoted into Portal with from Ari. Yeah, from Ari. But you could also play Rise with, as I mentioned, I've seen Scholar Rise with Preservers, and it's pretty solid. But usually this is the main version of Rise. You play 8 Portal. Don't focus on like whatever BIS you've been told Rise has. Like you could throw Red Buff, Morello, throw whatever on him. He'll do fine. Make sure the items make sense, and yeah, you'll be fine. But yeah, you just this is pretty easy. You buy all the portal units, and you throw portal spat on Nami or Diana or both, and you toss them in. And yeah, you throw like Shojin on Nora, maybe a death cap. And if you are stuck with 80 items, you usually throw them on Ezreal, so like IE. And yeah, this comp's pretty simple. Put your tank items on Taric, stuff like this. There's sure. And yeah, you got yourself a pretty solid comp. 10 portal is a win con you can use to get first instantly. And yeah, that's all for this comp. Alright. Here you have the Varus comp. This is the version without Pyrospat, even though Pyrospat's on Smolder right now. If you do end up getting Pyrospat, what you want to do is you drop 2 shapeshifters, so Elise probably, and you don't drop the dragon. So you probably drop one of these, Nico or Swain, and then you add in Akali and Shen. And you have 5 Pyro, 4 shapeshifter at level 8. 1, 2. Just double checking, it's level 8. And yeah, it's really strong at 5 Pyro, but if you don't get the Pyrospat, you oftentimes just cap out with the 6 shapeshifter variant that I just had here. You could use Jace before you get Briar, so you can find everything pretty smoothly except the Smolder. Before Smolder, you can just use like one of the other blasters, maybe an Ezreal, because he's also AD. And yeah, that's about it for Varus. Alright, this is the new comp on the block, Katarina. You can also, so what you can do is you can reroll on 6 for Kali Nila, and then on 7 you roll for Katarina, or you can just go straight to 7. You play this comp only when you have Warrior Crest. It's Preserver Warriors, 6 Warriors, and it's actually pretty strong, like in the stats. I don't think it's as strong as getting a Pyro or Portal Spat, but it is something to consider if you get Warrior Crest or Warrior Crown. I'm not sure how good the crown is. What does it give you? It gives you a Hodge, so it's pretty strong. The crown's pretty strong, because these Katarina and Akali, they both use Hodge. So yeah. And then I didn't want to make like all separate tactics tools for the hero augments, so I just made one. This is representing all the hero augments. Galio, you run 6 Vanguard, and then yeah, Rumble, you throw AP items on him. These are like all BIS. Poppy and Lilia, you can just run this comp with them, and at least you can just run this, I'm pretty sure. And yeah, that's pretty much the basics of the hero augments. Just change the itemization and then run this, or 6 Vanguard. I should have done more research on Rumble. Here, you get to catch me slacking on my research. So let's look it up. Alright, this is what you run with Rumble. Looks like it's Triss, Rumble, Galio. And yeah, you can see it's 4 Vanguard. So your level 6 probably looks like 4 Vanguard, and then Trist, and maybe Bard. Alright, so that is all for the current meta of TFT. I will try to do more in-depth guides if I can. Until then, catch you guys next time. See ya.